Well, we think that the growth rate in most economies, especially in the second half of this year, are going to go up significantly. Of course, you have to compare to a lower base in 2020. But there is a tailwind from the economic side, and that is why, in terms of demand, we look favorably upon the rest of this year.
The mix and the speed with which the transfer to EV, to full EV, countries are bringing down the date ever closer. How much of a challenge is this for you now?
We made a clear commitment 2 years ago as a company with our emission 2039 that we want to decarbonize, be a carbon neutral company 10 years ahead of the Paris Agreement. If we look at the momentum in the market, and this year alone, we're launching 4 full electric new models. I think now, as this progress is picking up momentum, that 2039 in terms of full decarbonization is probably the most conservative scenario. And we want to be one of the companies that are leading from the front in this transition.
What do you need from policymakers to help make this transition smoother, or at least not as difficult?
Well, our strategy is clear. We're going zero emissions. So for passenger cars, that means the electric vehicle. How do we make this work, and how do we make this attractive to customers? The product side we will take care of, but we need a quick buildup of infrastructure around the world so that the convenience factor of electric mobility doesn't get lost, that you can really charge not just at home or at work, which are at the moment the 2 most common use cases, but really have public charging infrastructure built up around the world.
How concerned are you about the economic situation in your home country, in Germany? There will be a change in leadership. There seems to, when Angela Merkel steps down, there seems to be an element of confusion, or at least uncertainty, I would say, over a replacement. And whilst I'm not necessarily asking you politically, I am asking you economically, how worried are you?
Coming out of the pandemic, and now we can, of course, see light at the end of the tunnel, even though EU as an economic region is slightly behind China and the United States in terms of coming out of this, we expect growth here as well. And the German industry is strong. Of course, much of it is based upon exports. So tailwinds from markets like United States and China, that would help us. But I would like to look at this as a glass half full, that now that we hopefully can put the pandemic behind us soon, that we are going to look at very reasonable growth here in the next few years.
I know CEOs will tell me immediately, and I know bosses will tell me, and chairman will tell me it's a team effort. But one of the things I'm trying to discover from those in the C-suite is, what did you learn about yourself and your management style?
I can confirm what you said. It is a team effort. When a company or a whole economy or whole society hit the crisis, very often good teams come together. That's what happened at Daimler, and people around the world rose to the occasion. For myself, sometimes they use the expression, it's lonely at the top. Now, it was not only lonely, but you were actually physically lonely in the office because everybody else was in a home office, or vice versa. And next to the crisis management, actually one thing that was, I think, a positive side effect for somebody in a leadership role, as you don't lose a lot of time on logistics and travel, I had a lot of time in the evening to think about our strategy, refine our strategy, and actually look at what's really important for this company. And it's in stress test situations, it's almost like you're given a gift to stand back and refocus how you're going to do business afterwards.
Do you see any change, any strategic changes as a result? Not now, because obviously it's in the middle of the, you're just coming out, you're still coming out of the crisis. But did anything come from this process that you think, another year or two and I'm going to start moving to doing this?
I think strategically for us, what did the thinking process lead to? It really was to look at what are the strengths of this company and how can we how can we strengthen the strengths? How can we make sure that we deliver the brand promise, what Mercedes is all about? And for us, it's two things that we have, let's say, refocused on. On the one hand, we're a tech company, we're an innovation company. There it's all about the transformation into electric mobility and software. But we're also the original luxury company in the auto industry. So we said, let's do the two things that we know how to do best. Innovative technology and focus on the modern luxury, sustainable modern luxury promise of the future. And that's what we're going to do.